For some of you, the things I'm going to say tonight are going to be like too much information. Okay, it's gonna be like this kid, like, what? For others of you, it's gonna be like, I know this already, or where were you 2 years ago? I could have used this information then. Okay, so I'm sorry, it's hard to meet everybody where they're at, but for those of you who are like, oh, TMI, just know that it is better, it's coming from me, a safe source, than it is for you to learn on your own, or to learn from friends, or to learn from Google. Okay, so I do research on this. I've studied for years the harms of pornography, and what I'm going to present to you today is the science. Who knew that science had so much to say about pornography? But science has changed absolutely everything to do with pornography, and so it's actually really helpful. So I want you guys to know some of the science and how the brain works as well. So first of all, we're just going to do a little bit of warm up here. So I love interaction, and there's no wrong questions here, all right? And this is a safe space. I want you to ask your questions here. So, what in the world is pornography? Start with a real easy question. Who wants to start us off tonight? Oh, scratching chins. Okay, yeah.
It's looking at naked people on the internet or whatever.
Exactly. Very good. Okay. Where might we see it? Where does it pop up? Where does it see? This works every time. Yeah. Google. Yeah. Okay. Where else does it pop up?
Social media.
Social media. I have a really bad arm, just so you know, so just watch out if you're 2 or 3 people down. Okay. What is there anything wrong with watching it?
Yeah.
What?
Like messes up your brain.
Messes up your brain. Watch out, everybody, back row. Oh, that's my best shot tonight. Okay, how does it mess up your brain? Dopamine. That's good. Okay, that goes to the guy that's good. That's good. Dopamine. Okay, we'll talk about dopamine. What that is. What were you going to say? How does it mess up your brain? Okay, all right, that's okay. Okay, why don't we talk about it more? What? Why don't we talk about it more? Yeah.
It's awkward.
Awkward. Why is it awkward? Yeah.
Because you're not supposed to see it most of the time.
Right. Where do we, watch out everybody, where do we get that information from? Why do we think, we're not supposed to see it? Who told us that? Where does it come from? Yeah.
Our conscience.
Our conscience. Oh yeah, that's good.
The Bible.
Sorry, the Bible, okay. Does it say what does it say in the Bible?
Well, it says you can't think lust.
Yeah, that's true. That's right. Okay, yeah. So why do people watch it if we know it's going to mess up our brain and we know it's not really good for us? And the Bible says don't. Why do we watch it? What? Yeah.
Because it's addicting.
Addicting. Yes, it's addicting. Watch out. Okay, I got to top up here. I'm running low. Here's my stash for the boys. Okay. So don't be shy. Ooh, there's coffee crisp now. There was no coffee crisp for the girls. I know. Okay. So let me tell you a story about a guy I know named S. We're gonna call him S. And so S was about 8 years old when he first stumbled upon pornography. He was just on his family computer, kind of, clicking around and stuff like that. And all of a sudden it was there, and he was just shocked. He didn't know what it was, what to do, but he knew it was wrong. It felt wrong. So he slammed the lid down and made sure nobody saw and cleared the history. And then he forgot about it for about a year. He didn't think about it for about a year. But during that year, so he's 8, 9 years old, and life for him is really hard. He didn't have any friends at school. He was being bullied. He was being picked on. He had a stutter. Kids are so mean. He had a stutter, so they were teasing him. He was a little bit overweight. Kids were teasing him for that. So unfair. But all these things made him feel really gross about himself, and he really didn't like himself. And so he was looking for escape. And then he kind of remembered, those pictures, when I was looking at that, I didn't think about anything else in the world. It helped me forget that I don't have any friends. It helped me forget that I feel really unlovable and ugly. And so he kind of found himself going back to it. And it's true, it helped him forget everything for just a few minutes, right? And then it kept happening more regularly, more often. He kept going back just to forget. And then by the time he was about, I think he was 10 years old, it became a daily habit. He couldn't get through the day without going to see porn. And his parents had no idea. And it was a daily habit. And it kept progressing. And at the same time, he started to get angry and moody. And his sisters were like, what's wrong with you? You're so grumpy now. You're so angry. And it changed who he was. He was a fun kid before. He wasn't anymore. He was just angry all the time. And you can imagine too, after watching, then what comes next is the shame and embarrassment. And oh, I'm going to get caught. And there's a lot of anxiety. And you start to even feel like maybe something's wrong with me. Like, are other guys watching this? And so he was kind of worried, but he didn't really feel like he could stop, right? And then now he's 14. How many of you are 14? Okay. 14 years old, he kind of starts seeing this girl in his school, and they're kind of dating, they're kind of seeing each other and stuff like that, and they're exploring, doing things. And one day there's a knock on the door, and it's the police. And he's charged with sexual assault. And he didn't realize that what he had done with his girlfriend was considered sexual assault, because for him, he's like, well, that's what they're doing on porn, and I'm just doing what they're doing. And if it's on the screen and they're doing it, well, that must be normal. And so he didn't see what the problem was, but he didn't realize that's a crime. You've just committed a crime. And it's a good thing that that girl recognized what that was, and that she told somebody, and she told her parents, and they told the police. But he didn't realize that what he was doing was, one, wrong, but would be considered an assault. And so at 14 years old, he's got the police at his door, and he's got a major, major decision to make, right? Is he going to confess? Is he going to be honest? Is he going to fight this thing? Or is he going to deny it? Or hide it even further? And I'll tell you the end of that story when we get to the end. So this is how pornography is affecting millions and millions of people. And women and girls are drawn to porn as well for different reasons, not in the same numbers and quantities. Tonight, I'm only talking about the impact on guys, okay? So statistically, this is the number of men and boys who are going to this one porn site every day. Like, that should just show you, like, that is it's a massive problem. This goes beyond one or two people. This is a global problem. 193 million visitors a day. Like, Canada is 30 million people. Like, so it is a major, major draw for a lot of people. And these companies are making a fortune off of these people. Now, most of those people probably are watching free stuff. So how in the world are these industries, this company, how are they making so much money?
Because the people want to watch more, and then the company starts charging them. Okay, very good guess. I'm sorry, I'm just such a bad end. Okay, it's a very good guess. Anybody else? It's not quite the accurate, what? Advertisements. Oof, that's good. Advertisements, you guys, advertisements. Every day, 4.6 billion ads are being shown on this one site alone. Multiply that by 193 million people, and that is why the porn industry makes more than all these 7 companies combined. They are raking in the money. Yes, subscriptions as well, but largely off of ads. That is why it's free. And that is why they are doing absolutely everything they possibly can to keep their viewers on as absolutely long as possible. Because the longer they're on, same with social media, the longer they're on, the more money they make. And so their goal is just time spent. They just want your time. They don't care who you are. They don't care your faith. They don't care your age. They don't care your dreams in life. They don't care your struggles. They don't care that S had no friends and was being bullied and was there to escape. They don't care about any of those things. They want one thing only, and that is your time. And in order to get that, on one screen, multiple times, all the videos are playing, autoplay, right? So many things are playing at one time, and each one more shocking than the next one, right? They're playing to our curiosity, like, oh, what is that about? Or what is that? They use that hook bait, right? To try to catch your attention. And that's what makes it, that's another reason why it's so addictive. And another reason why it's addictive, we talked about earlier, dopamine. So, what is dopamine? Who can define dopamine?
It's like your like enjoyment like hormone.
Yeah, that's right. It is a chemical released in your brain, and when you do something that your brain likes, your brain releases dopamine. Like right now, he's about to get some dopamine because he's going to get some chocolate. This is how easily it works. Dopamine is a good thing. It is natural. It's God made. When you do something you enjoy, including a workout, you get a hit of dopamine. If you accomplish something, you achieve something, you learn something, you're going to get dopamine. Unfortunately, chemical dopamine is not natural, and but it's more powerful than the natural, which really, it's really unfortunate. It really sucks. So let's test a brave volunteer. So I want one volunteer who's going to try to identify. So I'll just give you one hint. So 100, this is a level of dopamine, okay, that's released in the brain. Okay, 100 is a natural level of dopamine. That's God designed. 100 is a doubling of the dopamine of the brain. Completely natural, absolutely wonderful, and that's like God's gift to us. Thank you. Everything after that is an unnatural amount. Okay, blue sweater. Why don't you try a couple of them or all of them from low to high?
Low to high. Can I go high to low?
You can go high to low.
All right. I'm gonna guess meth and porn are both 1,000.
Very good.
And 25 is gonna be cocaine and sex. And
Okay.
150 is gonna be nicotine
Okay.
and gaming. And 100 would be 55 is chocolate.
Yeah.
Yeah, less than
Okay. It's good attempt. You got, I think 3 right. Pass it back here. Okay, so you want to give it a go? Yeah. Okay. Why don't you go high to low?
High to low.
Yeah.
Highest are definitely porn. Like as you were definitely saying.
Yeah.
And then I think meth. 225 is cocaine, and I'm gonna guess gaming.
Okay.
Honestly.
Okay.
115 is nicotine, whatever that is.
Yeah, the cigarettes.
100,
Yeah.
100 is sex, and 55 is chocolate.
I got to give you 2 because you got them all right. Wow, good job. Okay, you guys. So, the higher, the faster, the easier the dopamine comes, the more addictive it is. So, pornography and methamphetamines releases a high, fast, quick, easy is the key, amount of dopamine in the brain that the brain is just like, the brain is paralyzed. The brain is like literally frozen, like, what did I just see? Okay? So can you imagine that that pornography is 5 times more addictive than cocaine? Has anyone ever thought that or heard that before? Like that's something to be serious about, right? Like we're pretty careful with cocaine. Like we're not going to touch that, right? Like we know that's addictive. And even nicotine, we're like, oh, that's pretty addictive. We know that. Doesn't even compare. Does not even compare. That's why we have to be so careful about it. And my hope today is to give you guys enough information that you're going to make choices. Well, you're just going to be a little more equipped in your battle to reject it. Don't think it's a one-time decision, right? Like it is a decision maybe you have to face daily, maybe weekly, maybe monthly. You're going to have to choose. Do I give in? Or do I fight? And so here's a couple of reasons why I encourage guys to consider fighting it. So now, first we just learned, highly addictive, right? Hard to stop, no matter who you are. I don't care who you are. Doesn't matter your age, doesn't matter if you're a strong Christian, like it's highly addictive. It affects the brain, period. Secondly, pornography today, it is not sex, actually. It is a crime scene. It is violence against women. 90% is violence, women or girls. And the things that they're doing on the screen, it cannot even be described as sex. Like it is just sexual assault. It is basically a crime scene. So that's another reason to avoid it as long as possible, to reject it, is because nothing can prepare your eyes to see that kind of content. And you can never unsee it. You will never unsee it. It's like burned in your brain. Not that it can't be erased a little bit, but it's very hard to unsee. And why do you guys think, why do you think it's become so violent? Because I'll tell you, what's available now in one click is nothing like the pornography that was available 20 years ago. Nothing. And even the people making these videos, the pornographers they're called, even they say, we can't believe what we're allowed to get away with. Like they're like putting this online. They're like, are the police going to come? Are the FBI going to come? Nope, nothing. Unfortunately, because of freedom of speech in this case, because it's their right to do this, right? But why would it get so violent, you guys? This is an important question. It has to do with the brain. Yeah.
Would they be like more enjoyable?
Some people, I think they could think that. They could think that. We haven't had you yet. Yeah.
Trafficking.
Okay. Yes. Very good. Yeah. Some of it is trafficked victims. Yes, absolutely. Which makes it violent because they are trapped. They have nowhere to go. Yeah. Good. Good to get trafficking in there. Get your attention. Yes, that's also true. I also have my reading glasses on, so if my back throws because I actually can't quite see. Yeah.
Well, I feel like your attention span, like.
Yes, attention span. So what you guys are talking about are two things: desensitization and tolerance. Okay, let's try this. So embarrassing. Okay, this is what's happened, and this is why you need to know that it is now a crime scene and it has nothing to do with sex. So what's happened is that we saw 193 million men are viewing porn every day, right? How are these industries going to keep their attention? How are they going to keep them on their site and not on another site? They want their money. They want their time, right? The only way they can keep that captive audience is to keep pushing more shocking, more new content they've never seen before. Just like that hook bait, right? They want to shock them with that title that they see. They want to get their curiosity so that they'll click on it, right? And so as these 193 men have been going daily onto these porn sites, they've become desensitized. That means what was interesting a week ago is not interesting anymore. They need more. They need more to get that 1,000 hit of dopamine. And what worked before, it doesn't work anymore. That's the brain. That is a natural process. We all have it. And it's called building tolerance. Okay? And what happens when you build tolerance is you need more shocking, you need more interesting, more curious, you need more violence because it's going to captivate the brain. So that's how it works. And you need to know that that's how all brains will react. It affects all brains in the same way. Now let's talk about trafficking real quick here. Trafficking is the sale of something illegal, right? And right now we have a human trafficking problem. There are people that are being tricked and then forced into situations, including the porn industry. A third of traffic victims are forced into the porn industry. 1/3 of global trafficking victims. So they're not there by choice. They had no choice. They have no choice. They are forced to be there, and they're forced to endure whatever is being done to them. And I think the cruelest thing is that they're forced to pretend it's enjoyable so that the customer who's watching doesn't feel bad. And if they don't pretend it's enjoyable, then they face worse consequences afterwards, more violence than they could have imagined. And so that's why they've learned as a survival technique that I need to make sure that I make this one shoot work. I don't want to endure 3 or 4 or 5 more shoots. So that's what you need to know. And you will never, ever, no expert even can tell if what they're watching is a victim of human trafficking or somebody who is there supposedly by free choice. You cannot tell. There's no 100% no way to tell. And so if someday you decide to consume, you have to realize that this is a supply and demand business. The customer, the click is the demand. And wherever there's clicking, there's going to be a supply. There's traffickers making sure they're going to meet that need. And so we fuel trafficking by consuming pornography. Happened to this young woman here. Fight the New Drug is a great organization. If you want to know some facts about pornography, I highly recommend Fight the New Drug. This young woman, just to give you an example of how real this is and how quickly it could happen to your sister. And so she was a fitness instructor, and somebody found her fitness page on Instagram, and they messaged her and they said, wow, I love your content. You know, we're doing a modeling shoot. We're looking for some models to come down and try out some fitness wear. Would you be willing to do that? And she did her homework. She checked them out. She talked to some of their previous models, and it looked legit. So they sent her an airline ticket. She got on. Didn't even tell her mom she'd be gone for the weekend because it's just 2 days. She's an adult. And she's not going to tell her mom, I'm gone for 2 days. So she got there and met these guys, and they look legitimate. They look professional. They get into this chauffeured car, start driving off. Doors lock. Keep driving, keep driving. They leave the city, and she realizes soon no one knows where she is. She has no idea who these people are. She has no way to get out. And she's completely at their mercy. And without going into details, what happened to her over the next 3 days is just more violence, horrendously treated, all of it filmed for pornography. She had no ability to escape. There were guards at the door. The hotel is in on it. And she knew she had to get through it and make it look convincing, which means makes it look like she's enjoying it, to survive, to get out. She had no way to get to her phone, no way to call for help. That her video is still online because of consumption, because there's a demand. She cannot get it removed. And you can imagine she's had years and years and years of trauma. That is her therapy dog in her lap. She didn't tell anybody for a long time. She, of course, became suicidal, couldn't hold a job. Like, the trauma of something like that affects you for life. And the worst thing, I think that's so awful, but the worst thing is that people found those videos and they sent it to her parents. So now you're being doubly traumatized. And that is the industry that we are up against. They care for no life. They do not care for the consumers. They do not care for the people who are forced to endure this. And this is why you guys have to be so aware. All of us learn through observation. That's how you learn to walk. That's how you learn to talk. That is how, we learn everything by watching other people. Especially when you're young, 0 to 5, you're learning so much just through observation. Now there's another critical stage of observation and learning. The two most critical stages in life for your brain is 0 to 5 and 12 to 17. During 12 to 17, your brain is learning so much about the world, about how to be in the world, about how to treat other people. And so if you watch anything violent or anything misogynistic, which means against women, and, you know, there's some really dark influencers online right now. If you're consuming that content, it will educate you, it will shape you, it will change your worldview, and you'll start to see things through those lenses. And so that's why we have to be very careful to what we put in front of our eyes, because it will educate you no matter what it is, including video games. It is teaching you something about the world and how you are supposed to be in it. We talked about tolerance already. My only point there is just that it's a slippery slope, right? The more you allow, the more you will tolerate, the more you will need. And not only will it change who you are and how you see the world, it actually physically will change your brain. So the shriveled up brain here on the right-hand side is a brain addicted to pornography. It actually shrinks the front part of the brain, which is called the prefrontal cortex. This is the part we think with. It's the thinking part of the brain. And any kind of addiction affects that thinking part the most. But especially with pornography, this neuroscientist says specifically, quote, it shrinks the part of the brain that makes you human. And so you wonder why are these guys so violent? Why are they acting out? Why are they getting into the really illegal content online? It's because it's changed their desires. It's changed who they are. And many men today who are caught up with severe addiction and they're getting into the really dark stuff, they are like, how did I get here? I don't know how I got here. And so that's part of why I wanted to meet with you guys today, is I think it's unfair for you guys to not be warned about how pornography affects the brain. It's not fair that we give you guys these phones and we give you access to the World Wide Web and we're like, make good choices. It's really not fair of adults to do that to you guys. And so I think you guys need to know what you're up against. And you need to know that if you don't actively fight this, it's pretty powerful and it can follow you. It can follow you into marriage. Some of you may not get married. That I'm not pushing that. But if you don't deal with it in your young adult years and when you're living on your own, it follows you. It can follow you into marriage. I'm going to show you real quick. Oh, sorry. Is there a question?
Yeah. Why are the colors different?
You know, I've done a bit of research in this. It's something to do with the amount of oxygen that the brain is receiving. I don't know why alcohol is so bright. Don't think that that's a good thing. It's not a good thing. But yeah, the colors is that kind of the amount of oxygen. But here, this MRI was specifically tracking shape. No. So they studied different people with different addictions. Yeah, good question.
What's the normal addiction?
It's healthy, it's round, it's soft, it's plump. Like, this is the normal brain. This is probably your guys' brains right now. Well, not entirely, because your guys' brains have not fully finished developing. But yeah, the normal brain is smooth. It's, you know, like it's healthy. It's the way it's supposed to be. Okay, watch out there, red shirt. Okay. All right, so quick video here about, you guys know Forrest, what's his name, Forrest Frank? This is a little video about him and how pornography affected his life. Let's just see if this works.
Yeah. What do you think has been the number one piece of love advice that has helped your marriage